Hey everybody, good to see you again. Welcome back to Love Factory, and it's again I'm Mike Lawrence. Uh, we've had an interesting last few weeks and months. We've talked about some interesting things on here, in particular, and really it doesn't take much to look on the outside world and see what's going on as well. One of the things that I wanted to just talk about this weekend comes from a little bit more of a personal perspective. Um, it relates to what I talked about last week with just with everything that's going on in this world. If we take the time to listen, and I think sometimes we hear these messages and we don't really get the opportunity to find out, okay, how are we actually experiencing this? And I just thought I'd take this week to share an experience with you as opposed to just coming up, with so many other things that I would really love to talk about as well. But just trying to bring it back to life where I had to dig and look inside myself as well. So I think you heard, if you watched last week, if you didn't, no problem. But basically, I mentioned that I had seen some things, and I gave some insights as far as just listening to one another. And that's really the key of where we can start and create community around one another and understanding that everybody's experience is different. And as I finished that and I was spending some time this week just kind of getting prepared for this and flipping through Facebook and reading some things, once again, that I felt myself getting upset by reading almost to the point of unfriending someone. And I was like, ooh, unfriending. I know, right? But the idea, though, behind that was I found myself in a position where I had to practice what I've been preaching. And what happened in that moment where I'm thinking about unfriending because of these things that I'm seeing being posted, and it's just not one, it's one after the other, after the other, after the other. And I had to stop and pause myself and say, am I seeking to understand this person, or I'm basing my opinion of an entire person on something that they've posted in these last couple of weeks and months? Now, this is where it gets tricky because it could go either way. Is this how they feel passionately now, or is this something that they felt for years and they're just letting it out? But the thing that I had to remind myself of, even in that, is, am I giving them a chance? Am I giving them the opportunity to explain? Am I giving them an opportunity to give me their insight as to why they feel the way they feel, or why they think the way they think? And am I using that information to make a better opinion of how I should interact, or how I should react, or how I should just accept them for where they are? And I realized how very hard that is when maybe my opinion is very, very different, or honestly, my thought was, well, you just really don't know what this person is going through, or you really just don't know what else is behind what's happening there. And I had to turn that question back on myself and say, do you really know what's going on with the things that you're reading about the individual that's putting them online? And this is where it gets, and again, this is where it gets tricky, it gets hard. And I had to make a decision. Do I want to reach out to this individual, maybe on Facebook, send a message and say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation about where you stand? Not trying to debunk what you're saying, not trying to get you to see it my way, but just to hear you and understand where you're coming from. Now, I will be honest, I did not reach out because it's not somebody that I know extremely well, to the point that I felt like I could have that kind of dialogue without, with having some background there. But the moment made me acutely aware of how we have to be very careful that as the pendulum swings back and forth, that we're not allowing ourselves to move towards the extremes, but that we're finding our way back to the middle somehow. And that wild movement, that force that takes us back and forth, doesn't impede on us actually doing and being who we're saying we want to be, and doing what we say we want to do. So in my fault and in searching myself, I hope it helps you to think a little bit about how to formulate these questions, how to talk to people, how to not attack but look to understand. And again, not a whole lot of new juice and meat on the bones here, but again, it's an idea to take that pause moment, look at what it is that concerns you, that makes you upset, that maybe you don't understand, and ask, hey, would you mind giving me your insight on this? Take that information and move forward from there. But now remember, that is that one person giving you that feedback. It is not the masses that are agreeing or disagreeing with the individual. It is that one person. Take time to get to know those around you that have weight, that have influence, that have connection to you, and make these conversations work. Not looking to all out agree, but again, looking to understand. Hope this helps you out a little bit this week. Praying for you all. Have a fantastic rest of the week.